Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Yeah, buddy, that's right. Get exposure right now. Holler at the homie Paul Mash, man, for Paul Mash TV. Hit up Paul Mash TV across all social media sites, alright? Who we got next? Got next.
Well, hello everybody. It's time for Paul Mash TV once again. I'm your host, Paul Mash, and we're thankful that you're here watching another show with us. We got a great interview coming up in just a moment, but as usual, just hit that subscribe button right there and click the bell, and you'll keep up with all the latest interviews whenever they become available. And we'd love to hear the feedback from you, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can do that by email, and that's paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And remember, that's not just for fan mail. You can use it for artist or solo, band and solo artist information, excuse me. And we'll tell you how to get on the show. And feel free to like our page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/paulmashtv. And you can also inbox us and reply to the videos in question. And if you miss any of that, don't worry about it. We have a closing credit screen at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Right now, we have Enin Perryman. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. Very talented artist, and he's part of that paper chasing tour that we've been telling you about. So this is one of those special interviews for that, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, let's have another quick word from ClickJam. Don't go away.
Does anyone know where Lou is? Anyone? Let's jam.
We're fabulous, nobody's doing for the crushed and the broken hearted. We're fabulous, nobody's doing 'cause we can and we just got started. Come on and bang.
Well, hello there. It's time for interview time, and with us from Atlanta, Georgia, we have Enin Perryman. Thanks for joining us, Enin.
Hey, Paul, it's wonderful and great to be here. I'm stoked and elated.
Well, we're glad that you could join us there. First of all, I always like to ask people, how exactly did you get into the music business? Everyone has their own story. We'd love to hear your story about that.
Yes, this is, y'all ready? It's quite a story. Professionally, I'll go from the beginning. I started singing when I was 5 years old. My mother was a gospel singer, and my dad is currently a blues musician. Fantastic Elroy, big ups to him because he's the soul in my vocal, and my mother is the gospel in my vocal. So in my bio, it states about, and you can see that on www.eninperryman.com, which is my website, and it has all the information pertinent to my upbringing and how that influenced my art form as well. So it is a balance of gospel, soul, and R&B mixed together. So we give great music, and then you feel really good after you have been to Enin Perryman. So that's what we're on. But how I got started in the music was at the age of 5, singing in church with my mother and my group, family on both sides of the family. So it was like inevitable that I sing. And so after that, I went to Performing Arts High School, big ups to Fresno Central High School in Fresno, California, which is my alma mater. And when I got there, I did every sort of performing arts you could possibly. I had to muster the band. I was drum major of the band there. I was student body president of Drama Club, Mecha, Future Teachers of America. I did everything that I possibly could because that leadership kind of was in my blood. And later on, when I graduated high school, I went to the military. And I was one of those kids. I had a full scholarship to UCLA film school. And instead of going to UCLA, I'd call my mother and said, I'm in the military. I'm in Germany. So why I mention that, because it's pertinent to the story of how Enin Perryman came to exist. When I was getting ready to get out of the military after the war and everything, and I got stationed in Frankfurt, Germany, big ups to Frankfurt. Yeah, forget it's Enin. Found out part of my name is German. Enin backwards means 9. And so it also means, it's a German greeting. Gates is Enin. How you doing? So that was an interesting fact. But while I was in Germany, I went to a audition for a group called Snap, which was techno, if you're, and Penny Ford had just left the group, and they needed a lead singer, and I was going to support my friend, and she was like, well, maybe they might need a male singer because they're asking for something different. So I went with her. She auditioned, and when she got through, she was like, they didn't like me, and they came out and they were like, are you gonna audition? And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, he's gonna audition. So I hated it. Got a record deal out of it, and they were like, you're too good for this group. And I'm like, wow, they really believed in it. So Urban Grading, Ben Schrader and Gudrun Snitzer from the group Human League they were my executive producers while I was there, along with Frank Farian. And so I ended up getting a deal with Wake Up Records, Sony. And it's so weird that I'm like back at the same point. When I was young, and then I decided to start my hand at writing. I wrote my first record for Logic Records, and it went #1 in 11 countries, and it's by a singer called Hathaway that I wrote for, called What Is Love. And that song with Millennial still, oh, you wrote that song? Yeah, that was 22 when I wrote that. I ain't gonna tell my age, but I was 22 when I wrote that song. So that's how I began my professional career in the music industry. That was my calling card to writing and to touring with Tina Turner, David Bowie. Oh my goodness, a whole bunch of artists in Europe that I toured with. And then I did my own album, which is called And Then Came Enin, which you can also still download on any social media site. So any of these albums you can download, from Be With You Tonight, which birthed Taking Care of Home, which birthed Keeping It Real, which birthed Put Your Trust in Jesus, and then this one, Waiting on You album, and there's 2 more EPs that are on that they just released on the label. And of course, coming up soon is the Paper Chasing Tour, where you actually get to hear all of this music, all these wonderful artists like Sir Dollar and all the label mates that are on. Sanctified Soldier, who is a gospel rap hip hop artist that I've toured with as well. Wonderful, wonderful people, and they give everything. And so this tour is going to be so exciting. It's going to be, we're starting in 7 cities, and it's going to expand. And we're starting on July 21st in Chicago, Illinois. So if you're in Chicago, we're coming. Actually coming home. I was born in Chicago. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that is a pretty good story there. You were mentioning some of those bands. Would you say a few of those bands you were talking about are good influences on your end, or you have any others that come out in your mind?
Yeah. Because that, when you're in the music industry and you're networking and you're touring with people, and it's so ironic because I met Mary J. Blige in 1997 at the American Music Awards when Prince changed his name for the symbol. I was on that show, and it's odd because the new album is written by Christopher Starr. The new single called Hindsight is written by Christopher Starr, who wrote You Plus Me by Mary J. Blige. So that's very interesting that, how the universe kind of culminates things and you come back around full circle. you know, artists that you know, you worked with long ago, or you know, met or whatever, but you had an opportunity to, you know, kind of meet the people that kind of created their sounds.
Hmm.
So all of that kind of culminates into, you know, who Enin Perryman is. What we're trying to do, really, Paul, is bring back real soul music. You know, we miss Luther Vandross, James Brown, and Teddy Pendergrass, and all of these artists, Gerald Levert, rest his soul, and all of these artists that were not only influences of mine, but just they brought like a speciality to the genre, you know, something that people could feel. And big ups to the people that are doing their thing now. But I think that when you leave out the soul music vocally and the performance ethic part of it, you miss a whole lot that could be given back to society. And we as musicians, we are responsible, I think, for the feeling and the movement of time in people's lives. You know, when you have a record that, you know, you're down on your luck, and I'd rather spend what 99 cents now downloading this one record to get me through, you know,
Right.
you know, that's the type of stuff that I want to bring back to the genre and bring back to this industry.
Okay. And as far as your music goes, do you have any physical albums, or is it all just available on digital download?
It, you know, it's, it's a new day. Every day
Right.
I'm hard pressed to find a vinyl, which, you know, I love to touch, you know what I mean? And 'cause real music kind of switched out. Over in Europe, the fans can get them, but yeah, the only, I think if you go to Amazon, you might can get some hard copies delivered through the whole CD Baby thing. But everything now is going to digital downloads and all that. So please download it. It's a little cheaper because you can do it right there and into your phone or your iPod or whatever. But yeah, please download it.
Okay. And as you were just mentioning a few minutes ago, you mentioned the paper chasing tour, which is you know, started by a good friend of mine, Sir Dollar.
Yeah,
And
it's
and I've been mentioning this a few times. You know, you're one of the artists involved with that, and we hope that everything goes good for that. And what was the date? One more time on that?
it's July 21st is the first
20.
day in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Starts at 4 o'clock. Yeah,
Okay.
they're giving away like tons of stuff, you know,
All right.
money, you name it, you know what I'm saying? The early bird gets the worm, y'all know that. And also you'll be able to think on that tour. I don't want to overstep, but I know you'll be able to get the album, because all of these songs that are going to be performed is going to be a compilation album that they'll be physically, there you go, physically get there along with
All
each
right.
show. Well, man, it's just exciting, you know.
Right, exactly. Now, in just a moment, we're going to be playing one of your music videos. Can you tell me what the title is and a little story behind that?
Man, Waiting on You. Waiting on You is my title track song. That's the one that's really getting a lot of traction. We're #1 in Angola, Africa. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
This record is it's a inspirational record about waiting on God for deliverance from whatever it is, addictions. We deal in the video with crystal meth addiction in the storyline, and I wrote the story and directed the video when I was sitting here at the house, and it just came, you know, from the heavens, you know. And I called the videographer from We Good Visuals, big ups to them, and I said, God, I got the video, and it's in my head. I'll get the screenplay over to you and the treatment, so we can start, you know, working out the details. And the actors from Acts Management came together, and each one of these actors, which was so interesting, had that personal testimony about overcoming some form of addiction and or going through you know, mental, physical abuse or whatever. And that's what we deal with, all those subjects uniquely into one video, 5-minute segment. And we've had people that were just hip hop disc jockeys that would play the video, and they would be like, I need a break, you know, because it really spoke to the heartstrings of what they were had been through. And that's what it is, and it crosses all boundaries. It's why we're doing this number on the Paper Chasing Tour as well, because hopefully it will touch somebody and inspire somebody that maybe downtrodden or in a position where they've gone through that, and a life flash before them and say, you know what, I can overcome this. Yeah, I can make it. You know, so you're gonna get a lot of stuff on this tour. Some really good music,
Right.
and some styles. They're giving away.
Okay, well, I'm sure everybody out there will enjoy the video, which we'll see here in just a moment. But I think that's all the time we have right now, Enin, and we appreciate you coming by once again and talking with us. We'd love to have you back again sometime if you're ready.
Man, have me back, please, man.
Well, just let me know. I'll figure out something.
I heard that. And as we say on my show, and Dr. Perryman show, look, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Shameless plug. We come on Mondays on the Dr. Perryman show.
Oh, okay.
The Dr. Perryman show. Burn it up.
Okay. Well, let's
again, bro.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let's watch that video right now, and here it is, right here on Paul Mash TV. Don't go away.
God, I'm tired of this. I'm